Got a question on TikTok asking if they can prevent their tenants from paying in cash and I guess picking up the rent. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, under California law, the only civil code that I know that's on point about this is Civil Code Section 1947.3. That law just prohibits a landlord from demanding cash or electronic funds transfer as the exclusive form of payment. In other words, you have to offer some type of paper form of payment, such as like a personal check, money order, cashier's check. That being said, a landlord in theory could have a lease term in their agreement stating that cash is not an acceptable form of payment. Okay. Check your local listings in your local area. There might be rules that local ordinances, that type of deal, that prohibit that. But under state law, I don't see any issue with, saying, hey, cash is not acceptable. Okay. But here's some drawbacks though. Okay. Because I know many landlords do this. They may say that they don't accept cash in the lease, but then they accept cash anyway. Okay. So if you have a non-payment of rent situation or there's an issue with payments and that history comes up in court, the court might bar you from enforcing that no cash rule. So in other words, if you've taken cash in the past and now you issue a 3-day notice for rent and now the tenant tenders you cash and you say, no, I'm not taking that. The lease says no. You might get called out in court about that. That's a different issue though. The other thing I would just point out in this question is, why are you picking up the rent? Okay. And this is probably another topic for another video. Things that landlords do that cause them indigestion in their business practices and so forth. This would be one of them, would be picking up rent. Okay. Most leases that are well written and most procedures are, hey, you put in the contract that, hey, the tenant is to deliver your rent to your business address and to you basically, or you pay by electronic means. Okay. Think about it this way. Most of us are in Northern California, so I'm going to use PG&E, our power and gas company, up here. Does PG&E come pick up your rent? Do I see a blue truck, a service technician coming to my house, knocking on my door? Hey, Rob, we're here to pick up your monthly payment. No, the answer is no. They don't do that. Anything you do and, that all my utilities and bills, I got to send payment. Okay. I understand some landlords like to pick up the rent because it's kind of like a guarantee that they're going to get the rent and so forth, but you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Just my 50 cents. Okay. All the rules for non-payment of rent require that a landlord disclose their name, telephone number, and an address where rent can be delivered to. And there's other procedures as well. So it's kind of like, when you have a non-payment rent situation, you got to follow the law. And a lot of times landlords are like, well, I just go pick up the rent. Well, you're going to have to disclose your name, telephone number, and a phone number. That's actually required by Civil Code 1962. Whenever you start a tenancy, you have to disclose that anyway. So just my 50 cents, you're causing yourself problems if you're picking up rent. To me, it'd be a hassle, and in other business situations, you're expected to pay your rent per your lease or your contract, basically. So you take it for what it's worth. Folks, if you got issues in the Northern California area, you're a landlord, you're facing a non-payment rent situation or other tenant problem, and you need some help, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Okay? Thanks.